Mic check 212. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check 212. Mic check. Mic check 212. All right. Mic check. Mic check 212. 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 What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. So let's get comfy. All right. Oh, appreciate it. Just Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode. Appreciate you guys coming out to show your love and support as we get into the nitty-gritty of everything, as we're pretty much going over a review for WWE Monday Night Raw for the night, as things was on and popping. It was a great show from start to finish. Couldn't ask for anything better directly from the show. For my own hot take, I really enjoyed it. Couldn't ask for anything better directly when it came to Monday Night Raw tonight. The show kicked off with so many matches off the bat directly, kicking off from start to finish. We ended up having Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes addressing the Bloodline. Also, we ended up having Nia Jax taking on Becky Lynch. We also ended up having a nice devastating match. We went Gunther took on Dominic Mysterio. We also ended up having women's tag team action with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark took on Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. We also had a couple little re-debut for Andrade as he took on a returning Apollo Crews, which that was a nice little quick match from start to finish. We also end up having a couple other things along the way to show, including them hyping up for WWE 2K24. And off the back, I really enjoyed the show. The show was pretty decent from start to finish from all the matches that was on the card. The women are still getting a little lackluster, but they're getting a little bit better each and every single week. But you couldn't ask for anything better directly when it came to Monday Night Raw directly, just from my own take just off of there. Appreciate you guys. If you're tuning in, if you're just sliding through, give a thumbs up or a heart. If you're over there on Twitter or if you're on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and give a thumbs up and share it through directly to get the algorithm rolling up and running from there. But all the while, let's go ahead and get into the Monday Night Raw showcase, which happened tonight. We ended up having Cody Rhodes starting off WWE Monday Night Raw. He was hot and popping, and then he pretty much was addressing everything when it came to the Bloodline, but everything went smoothly as everything went from there. He had a whole lot to say when it came to Monday Night Raw tonight, where he addresses so many different things, and he had a lot to say from his own take of things that the challenge was issued by Dwayne The Rock Johnson last Friday on SmackDown, which he delivered a phenomenal promo, which was not only the Twitter one, which was 20 minutes with uncut, but also his deliverance of a challenge for the following Monday to see what Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes were intake in their statement and their guidelines of how they wanted to go about it, setting up for the tag team match with the stipulations of if the Bloodline lose, the Bloodline is barred from ringside for night 2 WrestleMania. And if the Bloodline wins, it's anything goes as Bloodline rules. So pretty much no holds barred with everybody involved. But my own hot take is I think I would love to see that a no holds barred. Then Cody could pretty much finish the story by pretty much decimating everybody directly in the Bloodline, and it'd be no excuses as he actually hold as being a true face of WWE through the modern era of this current time and period. Other than that, everything else was pretty much smooth, straightforward. From their hot take of basically what he was talking about, he basically, as I quote, he said he asked what did anybody want to talk about, and he said he had a lot of expectations for his WrestleMania match against Roman Reigns, but he can't get deep into because got distracted by the stings and quite a bit. Of course, he talked about The Rock in the recap of the promo that he delivered from last Friday, and he said he did not accept the challenge for a singles match because that's what Cody really wanted, was a one-on-one directly with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, because Dwayne is delivering on all cylinders, being a phenomenal heel, and a lot of people are looking for him to be Hollywood Rock, but I'm seeing him as being a little bit better as he's going back to his traditional style of who he is, as being the original Rock from the 91 era with the $500 shirts, and really being on all cylinders and being great in his own right to himself. He also addressed a couple of things, including he spun out that he changed the conversation like the master of politics, and he said, hell, he even voted himself in, and he can't even dismiss his own words entirely. And then they had a conversation where he poured honey into his ear and said that people don't want Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, and this is for the people. And also, but the people wanted The Rock and Roman Reigns. And he said that, and then he started his chant for something else. And then, of course, the fans just wasn't on board as they want to rewind Cody and everything goes from the queue from there. And then the WWE's heard all that commotion, and The Rock basically called everybody Cody crybabies on the Pat McAfee show, which started the whole entire feud and build up towards this following WrestleMania, and including one of his friends, basically Pat McAfee, they were really discussing. So he went ahead and got a little bit more into the promo. The promo was pretty good. Then he introduced his friend. He called Seth Rollins out to come down. Rollins was poised. He was nice, tooted and booted. He was really pretty much ready for everything, and whereas he was engaged with the fans and he was excited, full of smiles, dressed like an electric banana, electric yellow, straight up, straight to it, which I thought that was kind of a key thing of seeing how they were going about everything directly from there. And pretty much from there, after he addressed everything, Seth Rollins had a whole his own take on everything was going on, and he delivered his promo as well, which think that was a nice little take, as he was talking about the whole situation with Drew McIntyre, how he didn't want him to be involved with the Bloodline storyline, but he interjected himself to being part of it with no complaints whatsoever, as he's saying he's a grown man, and he's there for his own fight and go about that way directly when it comes to the situation laying down with the bloodline. But also, he has addressed that he's 100% medically cleared when he went ahead and talked to the doctors earlier on last Friday. So he said, hey, he's ready to go, and he's looking to head over to Friday Night SmackDown to confront the bloodline. And he wants to know if Cody has his back. And Rose thinks about it long and hard, and he says he has a message for The Rock directly, and he thinks it will be a long time since The Rock has ever had those $7 in his pocket, and he hasn't forgotten. He's going to SmackDown and along with Seth Rollins and standing across from the bloodline, and he will give them the face to face, eye to eye, direct point of where they stand with that challenge and answering that direct challenge for the ultimate tag team match for night one of WrestleMania of the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion and also the World Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, along with The Rock and Cody Rhodes being interjected with themselves being involved. I feel like that's going to be a long, short thing of seeing how that turns out, but I think that will be great directly from there. As they switch things over, they switch over to the backstage. After the promo was over, then they switched over to another cut with Gunther, who's backstage getting ready for himself, prepped up, ready for his match, which they hype up that he's going to be taking on Dominic Mysterio, which that match was a kind of little sneaker. A lot of people didn't know if Dominic can hold his own, but this match really went the distance when it came to Dominic as well. They also did a whole little prep thing of showing Dominic Mysterio as well in the background, getting prepped with JD McDonough. I helped him with a couple of jabs, stuff like that, as he could continue to get preparation for his match as they transition and switch things over as they went to commercial break from there. After they came back from commercial break, they got through their entrances. Dominic was already in the ring, and also there was a nice knockoff and acknowledgement by Michael Cole that they said Sting had to retire this following Sunday from AEW Revolution. And Pat McAfee said it was an epic match, and of course, it was no finer person to go out on the shield. And when it came to directly that retirement, which and once again, congratulations to Sting for settlement on himself and knocking it down as being able to now go out on his own accord to be able to retire directly on his own light and being able to enjoy that and sunbathe directly in his own way. This match directly with Dominic Mysterio and Gunther. This match was hard hitting on Gunther's end. He really was laying it down directly into Dominic from start to finish. Dominic really was trying to do a little bit of chops and kind of do a little counters in there, but Gunther was really laying it into him. He really was hitting those chops in, lariats off the back. He really was just laying it into the situation in the beginning of the match, but then of course they rolled out to the outside because Dominic was trying to do everything to get under Gunther's skin, and from there everything else transitioned and switched over. When Gunther tried to go face to face with JD McDonough, he pushed him into their not the guardrail, but the ring post, and he's about to ready to chop JD, and Dominic Mysterio pulled him out the way directly, and to avoid that a counter, and then what ended up happening straight up was Gunther ended up hurting his hand. He was selling it like a pro throughout that transition to Max as they went to multiple breaks and of course transitional chain wrestling. But Gunther pretty much with the upper hand. He was not playing around directly when it came to that match directly. Um, Gunther wasn't playing around. He was delivering everything on court, but of course Dominic Mysterio ended up dropping down to the fall of the pinfall as everything from there just went down here from there as Gunther ended up hitting his trademark power bomb and then transitioned into the Boston Crab for submission. This match went the distance of 8 minutes and 30 seconds. It wasn't too long whatsoever, but it was pretty decent for what it was when it came to Dominic Mysterio and Gunther going the distance. Dominic got pretty much got his butt handed to him directly, and you couldn't see anything better when it came to that. Gunther continued to be phenomenal as he continued to be show his accolade of being dominant already to 633 days, which is amazing when it comes to Gunther being the defined one of the best Intercontinental champions of all time. He's up there in the top when it comes to people who have come before him. And it's going to be a hard feat to see who will be in the win to take out Gunther. Gunther's a tough person to try to get in a transition with, and he's steamrolled through everybody similar to WWE Undisputed Champion Roman Reigns. It's pretty much nobody left, but I think it's time for Gunther to move up to the heavyweight class and get that main event spot and see what he's fully capable of, because we know that he's fully talented on all courts, and you couldn't ask for anything better when it comes to Gunther directly. Other than that, everything from there, we ended up going into the commercial to the backstage. We ended up seeing Damage Control, who was directly in the back. Damage Control was basically walking back there, and then Adam Pearce basically approached the group and asked them why they are there. And the Dakota notified Adam Pearce that the Kabuki Warriors are the tag team champions, so they could be on any show they feel like it. And they are there because they heard a couple of talents were running their mouth. So they're looking to get a closer action to see what goes on from there and address those issues directly from there. According directly afterwards from that, we ended up seeing Shinsuke Nakamura in the background as Nakamura also addressed his concerns and issues as he was looking to become the next challenger for Gunther's Intercontinental Championship. And Adam Pearce directly let him know, like, hey, I will make a decision pretty soon. Just hang tight, and I will have a direct announcement later on this evening on the show. Then we get things directly underway as they move directly from the next following match, which was Caden Carter and Katana Chance taking on Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler. This match was pretty decent. Couldn't ask for anything better. It was hard hitting from back and forth from all the ladies. The ladies did the best they could when it came to directly everything that was going on. And in between, they went into a couple of commercial breaks and everything between. And everything else went smoothly from there. But this match was short-lived. It wasn't too fun or anything like that. It was really, really quick. It was a 5-minute and 57 match as Zoe Starks ended up getting the roll-up victory after the distraction of Shayna Baszler. Actually had a clean cut on Caden Carter, had her directly choked up, and then Katana Chance ended up taking that victory loss when it came to Zoe Starks now. Following with that, Kabuki Warriors and Damage Control were directly at the ringside and at the commentary area. They decided to make their way directly up to the ringside and then approach Zoe Starks and them. And then, of course, Dakota Kai did all the most majority of talking for the whole entire Damage Control as they enlightened everything and went from there and started talking more into details of everything that was going on directly throughout the majority of the talk that they had and the issues and the beefs with everything that was going on, including I know everything that was going on when it came to Zoe Starks and also Shayna Baszler. But Shayna Baszler pretty much just put it straight to bed. She grabbed the microphone and said directly that she's looking to see what it's all about, as she was looking to challenge the Kabuki Warriors next week. and go from there and see how things turn out and transition from there. So it looks like we will be getting a tag team match, either the championship match or we'll be getting a number one contender qualifier as Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks is looking to take on the Kabuki Warriors, which will be pretty phenomenal tag team match as the Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark still is a brand new team, but they're finding their groove and working out fairly well with each other. And I'm enjoying that whole setup with them and seeing what will happen on the road to WrestleMania as we're slowly heading towards 3 weeks left when it comes to WrestleMania. So you never know what directly can happen from there when it comes to those ladies. Um, then we switched things over. Let's see, what was else was going on? Then they headed over to a commercial break, and then they ended up hyping W2K24, which a lot of people are already got the early access, and they're already prime and ready and looking to deliver and have a good time with that. I will already have it as jumping out, and I gave a giveaway to a luckily person that went into the raffle, and they ended up getting a version of W2K24. Appreciate you. Congratulations to the person of being Nugent, who pretty much was kind of confident, as well as she was kind of chill as I chit chatted back and forth in the inbox, and everything else went smoothly from there. Then they came back from commercial break. Then they had a little hype, little preparation backstage of seeing Becky Lynch gearing herself up, getting herself ready for the following match. As she was getting ready to get things underway when it comes to her match with Nia Jax. Then they switched to another segment in the backstage of seeing Judgment Day, attending to Dominic Mysterio, where Damian Priest was taking the leadership role as he was basically laying the groundwork of what he wanted to see directly when it came to the Judgment Day. He said him and Finn is going to take care of Imperium, which is going to be Giovanni Da Vinci and also Luigi Kaiser. And then he demanded that JD McDonough handle things and take care of Gunther and take away the Intercontinental Championship. And so we'll see what goes on in the line of that as the Imperium and Judgment Day continue to implode. So we shall see what happens. But I look forward to seeing what happens in the long run when it comes to those two teams. And you can't see anything better when it comes to that directly. Um, then we get to the next match. It was Nia Jax versus Becky Lynch. This match got underway fairly quickly, back and forth with a couple of hard shots, hard hitting action. On top of that, it was a couple of near falls with a couple of signature moves. And the crowd was really behind Becky Lynch, but Nia Jax really was in her own controlling majority of the match, back and forth directly majority of this time. But this match was stopped halfway with a referee stoppage as Liv Morgan ended up interjecting herself and getting involved and causing the disqualification, as she did the same thing that Becky Lynch did last week, got herself involved and then caused the referee stoppage in the match. And so Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan ended up having a face-to-face. I don't know exactly what they were saying directly in the ringside, but it was a whole lot of turmoil and tensions between those two ladies as they were just focused on each other. And Nia Jackson came with the pickings and took advantage of that and ended up taking advantage of both of them, demolishing both of those ladies and standing Paul as she's working her way directly up the ramp and going directly from there. And I like the way how they're continue to keep Nia dominant as she's working her way towards WrestleMania in the next 4 weeks. We shall see what happens in the win. And you can't ask for anything better when it comes to the way how they actually been doing with her this time around with Nia Jax. They've been doing a phenomenal job, and now I can't say anything better when it comes to how they've been delivering her directly. Um, then we end up going back to the backstage area, and they end up having Adam Pearce um, listening to JD McDonough and the Judgment Day. I guess the Judgment Day Ricochet basically walked in, and he demanded an Intercontinental Championship match, and then I guess he said he would look into consideration, and he will set up his statement, which he will make his announcement later on tonight. And then, of course, the Judgment Day ended up storming their way in as well, demanding a match as Damian Priest said he wants JD McDonough to take on Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship next week. And then Adam Pearce said, clear your case. I would like to know directly from your own personal take What would you like to see? And then of course JD said he was going to take the title away from me, and basically just made his whole plea and statement from there. And then afterwards, Adam Pierce said, "Okay, I will look into it and go directly from there." As everything got shaped up, and once he got slowly into Adam Pierce's direct limelight from there. Then they switched things up and geared things up into a Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre hype package, which they was pairing for the main event. And that was a nice little package detailing from over their past history as they continue to whereas beefing with each other. But it was a nice little setup of how things were turning out in the long run. And you couldn't ask for anything better when it comes to how the WWE has been doing a really good job since now they changed up the production style of how they do in edits with each superstar when they're in the entrance or even a ring, and they're getting them with the little thumbnails or little new overlays, which is kind of nice. And I like the new hot take and a new style of how they've been doing directly when it comes to them directly. Then we switch things over to the back to ringside to get ready for the next following match. As Andrade is making his way to the ring in preparation for his debut match, and he goes out there, has the whole nice little outfit, still similar to when he was in AEW, but a little bit better, a little bit more detailed with the mask, and then he was in tooted and booted in pure red, which I like that color and attire. I'll probably end up eventually going along with the time of that, eventually making that attire once I jump into W2K24 sometime this week when I have the time. But of course, I'm still a busy man, but I'm gonna make it happen whenever I directly can. Um, then they come back from commercial break, still hyping up WrestleMania and all the feuds on the road to WrestleMania, and it looks like it's gonna be pure promising. And then they switch gears over as to the commentary as they get gear things up for the announcement from Adam Pierce. As Adam Pierce got things underway, he pretty much addressed everything when it came to all the contenders who were made their statement in their case when it comes to being an Intercontinental Champion number one contender. And so he made a direct announcement that there will be a six-man gauntlet, which was I think feel like it's gonna be phenomenal, similar to a Gold Rush style, elimination style, or maybe they'll do it that way, or maybe it's just a one pinfall. But we'll see how that turns out directly. Which will have six competitors. It'll be Sami Zayn, JD McDonough, Shinsuke Nakamura, Chad Gable, and also we have Ricochet and Shinsuke Nakamura. So we'll see with and Bronson Reed as we'll see what the follow up is and go from there. But I look forward to seeing what that turnout is going to be. My pick is most likely probably going to be Chad Gable. So we'll see how that turns out. But everybody has their case of why they need their WrestleMania spot. So we'll see this following next week on Monday Night Raw, where the hot take will be when it comes to who will come out on victorious on top and be that one to probably dethrone Gunther, or Gunther continue going on his reign. But we shall see where they go in the light of that. So then they switch back to things in the ring and they get the match underway, which was um, Andrade making his return. Then they switch things up when then they end up having an entrance and then it being a returning Apollo Crews, which probably was sitting in catering for a whole good little while, had nothing for him, had no build up story. And it was kind of nice to see Apollo. I feel like he's a one of those sleepers you don't want to leave hanging. I know he's still trying to build up on his talking and everything like that. But I feel like Apollo is a great talent, and I feel like WWE needs to find a place for him to be in the shuffle as well, or they just got to feel like they just go ahead and just let him go. From my own personal take, Apollo, I would like to know from you guys' own hot take, or what you like to see with Apollo or any other talent. Where would you like to see them being pushed or put? Do you feel like they need to be more on the TV a little bit more, or you feel like they should be asked for their release? I'd like to know from you guys' personal view and personal opinion. But this match was straight, quick and fashion. It wasn't even long at all when it came to Apollo Cruz and Andrade. It meant the distance of 3 minutes and 22 seconds. This match wasn't quick at all. This match was straight fast forwards. And Andrade is a great worker, and he knew how to handle things and transition things so smoothly. And I love the way how Andrade continues to be a stepping stone and continue to be great each and every single week. So he got his first victory for 2024, heading into WWE, and I look forward to seeing in the long run what else may happen in the long run as things continue to shape up from there as each week gets better when it comes to Andrade. Then when they switch things over to the backstage with Jackie, the interviewer who is interviewing Sami Zayn, and of course he goes through his whole spiel of why he needed to spill his case as being the next Intercontinental Champion, and then of course Ivar in quick fashion with along with Valhalla ended up interrupting them, and of course that whole they was spilling back and forth with each other and really just going into full details of their explanations of Ivar saying he should be in it and that he's gonna take out Sami Zayn and everything like that. Between Sami Zayn saying you ain't gonna take me out once you get in the ring with me tonight, and so he challenged them for a match later in the broadcast as they ended up tangling together, and this match was pretty decent. Ivar continued to impress each and every single time he's in the ring, and I'm enjoying it. I'm kind of surprised they didn't put Ivar in his that 6 man pack challenge or even make it a 7 man. Ivar's pretty good so far when it comes to how he's been delivering himself, and you couldn't ask for anything better when it comes to Ivar directly from his own hot take. Then they switched things over to back to another match, which was Judgment Day made their entrance. And then, of course, they were how the crowd was really behind the Judgment Day tonight. And the commercial, then they went to commercial break. And then they came back from commercial break. And then they had a little um, overlay visual for a transitional past wrestler who passed, which is Paul Butcher Vachon, which if you're not familiar with him, he's one of the long longevity family of the Vachon family, and he's had a long history when it comes to his detail work. And I really had to really go back and go check that old school wrestling earlier today when I saw that he had passed and actually check out his work, and he's really great directly when it comes to how his deliverance is and how he was when it came to being in the ring in a square circle directly. So condolences to his family, and hopefully everything gets all squared away from there, and WWE does right and to continue to take care of their talent as they continue to display them with the whole rest in peace and everything like that, and doing the whole little details of that. Then they head over to a nice little backstage segment with Candice LeRae and Andy Hartwell, which they had a whole bunch of talent back there, including um, um, Natalia Neidhart, including her partner, as well with um, sorry about that. But basically, they end up having Ivy Niles and also one of our other girls who was back there as well, and a couple other in between. This was a nice little quick segment directly with the ladies. Couldn't ask for anything better, and it was pretty chill. But I'm liking this nice take of Candice Reyes to continue to be a heel, and not even a heel, but you can see that little intertwined twinkle in her attitude change. And so I'm loving Candice Reyes as a heel, and we'll shall see if they pull the trigger and put it back in her limelight of being a direct heel. You can't go wrong when it comes to Candice Reyes. She's a phenomenal talent. She always know how to do her thing, and she's always been great when it comes to her deliverance and on how she does things in the most important way. They switch things up and then get ready for the match that was under the tag team match, which is Judgment Day versus Imperium. Imperium makes their way directly down to the ringside as they got things underway. This match was probably one of those top matches out there. I really enjoyed it. Couldn't ask for anything better when it came to Judgment Day and Imperium. This match really delivered. It was hard hitting. It was cool. It was straightforward when it came to chain wrestling, dive spots. The chemistry was really there when it came to them. I really enjoyed the chemistry between these two teams. I want to see them go at it again when it comes to Luis Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci going against Finn Balor and Damian Priest. You couldn't ask for anything better directly when it came to this tag team match. I could say this is probably one of those top tag team matches of this year. It's up there in the top, probably one of the tag team match of the year. I'll be okay with that if they go ahead and do that direction with a tag team of the year award ceremony or something like that. But you couldn't ask for anything better when it came to how they delivered and how everything went smoothly from there. This match went the distance with Damian Priest picking up the victory with, of course, with his inverted choke slam with the pinfall. And this match went 14 minutes and 31 seconds. It was pretty decent. It was back and forth action all around, and you couldn't ask for anything better when it came to the Judgment Day. Really was on all cylinders, including with the breakups and everything like that. The tension, it seemed like they're back into their own as they're back on, is all on the same page when it comes to Judgment Day and handling business and looking strong and dominant on the road to WrestleMania as they get ready for probably their upcoming feud, either with The Miz and R-Truth. But we shall see in the long run what will happen as we get ready directly for that following maybe feud in the near future. So we had that earlier showcase earlier where DIY, The Miz, and Xavier Woods and all them were backstage. They were playing 2K WWE 2K24, and they were having the game up as well. But he also was trying to figure out what a plan to get back at Judgment Day. So we shall see what happens, what goes on with there. So like a lot of these teams may be getting involved, including a New Day with Imperium, Judgment Day. So it may be maybe a fatal four-way or fatal five-way. Some of the teams are in the line. So we shall see what happens in the line of fire, including we got DIY in the background as well. So it's like it could be a monster match when it comes to Mania. I swear the Electric being fully set up for as they get things geared from there. Then they switch things up back to the commentary. As a commentary, Michael Cole ended up announcing the first inductee of the 2024 Hall of Fame class, which was Paul Heyman, which is a phenomenal choice. That was probably one of my top choices that I had in high regard because it was Philadelphia. I feel like it was the perfect time to add him. And Paul Heyman has had a long legacy when it comes to the professional wrestling industry. You couldn't ask for anything better when it comes to Paul Heyman. He's always been phenomenal and great, and you couldn't ask for anything better. From his days when he was in the NWA days, back to the old school WCW, even when he started his own promotion, ECW, and breaking off from the NWA style of chain wrestling and went a little bit more extreme, down to his days when he switched over to the Alliance and came over to WWE and made his mark as being a commentator and also helping out the commentators become a better focal point of SmackDown, becoming a lot better as Michael Cole was getting more comfortable and confident, and a couple other commentators, JBL and all them, they had a great ear and a great take when it came to SmackDown. As Vince McMahon was pushing things over Raw, but he still was kind of keeping hold on SmackDown. The majority of the time on SmackDown was Paul Heyman throughout the years on SmackDown. And congratulations to Paul Heyman. I feel like he fully deserved it, and you couldn't ask for anything better from that man. As if he was a wise man, or if he was an advocate, or even if he was just the head man of the Extreme, you couldn't ask for anything better when it came to Paul Heyman. Once again, congratulations, Paul Heyman, for getting that lovely honors. It's fully appreciated, and you deserve it for everything that you have accomplished and done in the WWE and so on the companies as well. And hopefully you get into the Philadelphia Hall of Fame, Professional Hall of Fame as well, and a couple other stuff in between because it's well deserved from your take as a talent, and you couldn't ask for anything better when it comes to you. To switch things over to Drew McIntyre, who's in an interview with Jackie. He made his case about the whole situation when it came to Seth Rollins. He also addressed about his main event match with Jey Uso, and so on from there. As he's looking to finally get the spotlight when it comes to WrestleMania and getting his major run and being the main man over in at WrestleMania, because when he originally won the title, he had it with no fans whatsoever during the pandemic. So now he's looking to get that prime spot again and win the title when it all matters, where all talent is there, including all the fans are there. There's no mask up, there's no separation 6 feet apart. So we shall see if Drew McIntyre can overcome that and become the main man to dethrone Seth Rollins. Then they come back. Then they go into commercial break after their interview, and then they come back from commercial break. They show Damage Control still prominent in the backstage, and they go to a shot of Rhea Ripley, who's back there, and she looks directly at Io Sky, and told her to stay out of her territory, as we see that feud can be going on over the coming weeks as well, as she maybe end up having Bailey in the long run, and Bailey may have a couple of allies, as we're starting to see that little trend of things happening in the long run. So we shall continue to keep up with that and see what happens in that long run with that feud. As Io Sky is looking to take on Bailey, and Bailey looking at the throne all of damage control in full force when it comes to Asuka, Shikari Sane, and also everybody else that's involved that was within that group. Then we pushed forward everything to the next following match, was Ivar and Sami Zayn, which they kicked things underway. And Michael Cole was so excited when he saw the antlers on Valhalla, who was the valet coming down directly with Ivar. And she came directly over to Michael Cole, sat up directly on the tables over there at the commentary. And then she put the antlers on Michael Cole's head, and the fans started chanting Michael Cole, and he got a nice little pop as Pat McAfee was hyping him up and keeping him intertwined and keeping him excited throughout majority of that point. And Michael Cole was like, I feel like JR with the stupid hat being so big, but I'm comfortable with his antler, so I can't ask for anything better when it comes to that. Directly from there. Then they go to a commercial break and come back. Then they go to commercial break, and then they have a Gunther interview, and he's interrupted by Chad Gable. He was addressing all the competitors, and then he's interrupted by Chad Gable, who came directly down from there, and things broke off from there. As Chad Gable said, "Hey, you made a disaster story for myself, made my daughter cry," and his promo was straight heartfelt. And he said he's going to be the one that's going to win next week, and he's gonna basically have his redemption story to take out Gunther and be the one to throw him at WrestleMania. So many players on the field right now for Gunther. Gunther has a hard challenge, but I feel like if he gets involved across DQ, he's gonna have a whole lot of challengers in the win that's gonna be taken on him. And I don't know if he's prepared and ready, willing, and able to take on all those challengers. But I feel like Chad is the best choice in the win. So we shall see what happens in the long run and go from there into the next couple of 3 weeks, moving forward from there. Then we head back into the match, which was Sami Zayn, and as he continued to go throughout majority of this match. This match went the distance. It was a 10-minute and 10-second match, and this match went the distance with a couple of transition moves. The Blue Thunder Bomb, Ivar going for his moonsault, and a couple of nice transitional moves back and forth with each other, including hard and clotheslines and lariats. But Sami Zayn ended up picking up the victory via pinfall by hitting that haluva kick in a corner, catching him off guard after Ivar had missed the moonsault. And as soon as Sami even got the chance to celebrate, Bronson Reed was on the fence and ended up attacking Sami Zayn, making his statement and hitting a tsunami splash. And they ended up closing that chaos from there as things broke down, and they switched over to the backstage, where they ended up having Jey Uso was got prime and ready, getting ready for his main event, as he was getting ready to take on Drew McIntyre, which I feel like that match was phenomenal. If you really watched it and got tuned to it, you couldn't ask for anything better when it comes to Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso, as they really delivered and got things directly underway from there. Then they came back from commercial break, and then Jey Uso made his entrance, hyping up the crowd, getting them all ready, and you couldn't ask for anything better. Pat McAfee was getting along with it too. He's really enjoying himself, and I was enjoying it as well. I was getting hyped when that song. The song was phenomenal. You can't ask for anything for Jey Uso's solo song, and it's phenomenal for this. And from there, the match went to the full distance as they continue to go back and forth with each other, and you couldn't ask for anything better when it came to them. It was great from my own hot take. I really enjoyed this match directly. This match went a total of 10 minutes and 15 seconds. A lot of back fours, including a lot of couple of transitional super kicks, everything between. We ended up having the bloodline interfering itself and getting themselves involved, which caused a whole lot of distractions from there, which was kind of predictable based off of the weeks coming up into Mania. Cody Rhodes made his way down and then attacked his Solo Sikoa, taking him out the equation. And then, of course, things was breaking down as not Jimmy, but Jey Uso was continuing to hit those trademark super kicks directly. He was about to take out Drew McIntyre and had him on the fence, hit him with a spear. And then he was getting ready to go to the top ropes. But then before he got there, he got distracted by Jimmy Uso, who came at ringside, and that caused the whisper in the wind as he was distracted before and he turned around and got Claymore and got pinned with a 1, 2, 3 and was put to sleep from there. After the post match, everything broke down as Jimmy Uso made his way over to the ring announcers area to grab a chair. Michael Cole really was not feeling it whatsoever. He was really irate and said, "Why are you here?" Yada yada yada. Going through the full details of everything, he really was not happy about Jimmy Uso being there. As soon as Jimmy Uso made his way out there, was ready to strike with his steel chair as he was going in there, kind of like in a venomous state, similar to Randy Orton. He was ready to prime, ready to hit Jey Uso, who was still down with a chair. But then Seth Rollins' theme broke down. He ended up rolling down there, ready, prime and ready. He ran past Drew McIntyre, who was heading back up the ramp, and things broke down from there as Seth Rollins ended up hitting a super kick to Jimmy Uso as Jimmy Uso rolled out to the outside. And then from there, Drew McIntyre ran back in the ring as Seth was fully distracted and claymored him and took him out the equation. And while he was fully distracted, and from there, and Drew McIntyre ended up standing tall over Seth Rollins as they went to the closing of the show. They didn't really get to have the old school style way of having the belt raised over the head, but they kind of just did it like quick in fashion and then went to another show directly afterwards. But my whole take of WWE Monday Night Raw for this week, it was a total of 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't too bad whatsoever. I'd like to know from your hot take what y'all think about when it came to Monday Night Raw tonight. What was your favorite matches? And I will even intertwine if you're on Twitter, if you're commenting stuff down below, I will intertwine and reply back to you as well and going back and forth. Or same thing if you're on my Facebook channel or YouTube. It's always great and appreciated. And everybody that's tuning in directly from YouTube, you guys are always great, appreciate it. Same with Twitter as well, with all the total amount of people who's tuning in right now. I believe it's a total of 33 people watching right now on that. And on my Facebook, my 2 Facebook channels, on my main fans page, we got a total of 25, which is too bad whatsoever. But hey, I'm still a new channel in the win, so keeping everything smooth. But I highly appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. I'll tell you a little for Chini. You just timed in right now. You said what's happening tonight. A lot happened tonight. If you're just tuning in out, just popping in, feel free to just go over my video recap. I already dropped into everything that went on throughout Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was pretty good. We ended up having the Bloodline getting involved. They made their appearance. Just Jimmy Uso and Solo. We also ended up having Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins addressing the situation when it came to the challenge from Dwayne The Rock Johnson. We ended up having Jimmy Uso being involved into costing Jey Uso a match at the main event. We also had appearance by the Kabuki Warriors and so many much more. So if you can just go back on the flashback, rewind, and catch everything up, and it will catch you back up to speed. But if you just want to chop it up, feel free to just hit me up directly in any of my links, and we can chop it up and have a conversation. But it's much appreciated, Lil Fetchini, for you coming through and going from there. But did you catch anything tonight on Monday Night Raw? I'd like to know from your hot take if you caught anything, including anybody else. If you haven't caught anything, I highly recommend for you check out this show tonight. It was pretty decent. It was a 4 out of 5 stars, and I really enjoyed tonight on Monday Night Raw. But all the while, you guys are all appreciated. If you're still commenting down below, or if you want to carry a conversation, feel free to drop it on YouTube, and I will reply directly right back to you right away. And we just even comedy conversation, even though the video is over, I still can reply back to you and get back to all my comments and go from there. But all the while, you guys be safe. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you guys back to the next one. Until then, peace.